And we got this horse, he's a lovely horse, he ain't really got any badness in him at all, you know, it's just the way he's been treated. And I don't know who broke him or how they broke him or whatever, or you know what's happened to him. I can only say what I've got here. So I've got a horse that's, he's only in a piece of rubber, but just getting him to walk's hard work, you know what I mean? So I don't holler and shout at him, I just keep him nice and soft and just tell him, but he's uptight, you know, it's just walk baby. So we've left home, we're about 100 yards from home now. Mel's just got the camera out. And you can see him, he's not going happy, is he? He's got his head on one side and he's bouncing along. And watch it. If I just, you know, he's alright with the traffic, he's getting better with that. A little bit concerned because that particular van went in the puddles across the road. But nothing, that don't bother me at all. A lovely looking horse, he looks nice when he's going, but if I let the reins go like this, you see, I can stop him easy enough. Whoa, steady that, good boy. But I don't want him to come out and trot just because he thinks it's a good idea. He's got to walk when he's told. So it's teaching him that he's got to do as he's told when I tell him. You know, and got to do it kind. You can't, like, he's already frightened and uptight, obviously. You know, he's got his head that side. Get up, Rolly. Get up, Rolly. He might be better. He might be better when he comes away from Rolly, but he ain't ready to come away from Rolly yet. Oh, my little boy. Steady now. Steady, little fella. Just walk. Good boy. Just walk. There's a good boy. And I just want him comfortable to walk, yeah? Whoa, that's it. Hold it back there. That's it. But down here I've got no brakes on. I've got Rolly up a bit. And he's holding all the weight back, the little chestnut horse, right? Good boy. If I tell him to hold it, walk. Walk. You know, he'll stand and hold it. Walk. Walk. He waved this motor car on. But if you watch his body language, you see his little head. Look, watch his head, look. So we're putting him under strain, we're telling him he's got to stay, so look. You know, he's like a wound up spring, he's half wants to relax, and then he'll jolt and smash his head on the pole, you know. He's got his attention with some horses up there in the belong to someone up the road, and he's got his attention with them for a minute. So that's it. Now if not, you know, when he lost attention with that, he'd like now, look, see, he'd bang his head. He'd want to bite Rolly, not out of any badness. He might bite him, he might push him, he might anything, you know, anything other than stand quiet and be happy. But getting on the road, as far as on the road goes, he's coming nice. He was a bit uptight with traffic and such like. He's a lovely horse. Mel's going to get off now and she's going to just walk down the road a bit. Where he's run off and, you know, misbehaved or whatever he's done, we're never going to get the truth of it. But I've only got a piece of rubber in his mouth. I ain't got no iron bits in there wrenching his head off, just a piece of rubber. And he's controllable. So if I can get him like this, with a lovely head carriage like that and a nice knee action, yeah, his tail's out from his body, look. You see, a horse that's really uptight, he's terribly uptight, he'd be clamping his tail down, it'd be between his hocks. The loose hair of his tail after the dock, his dock would be curled like that, to exaggerate it curled, therefore putting the hair of his tail, you know, the hair after the dock, between his hocks. You know what I mean? And he would be uptight. Now he sees he's lunging there a bit, but I've only got a bit of rubber. If I just say, oh, steady, he's coming back to me. Right, look. But as soon as I let go of them reins, whether it's uphill or downhill, he's not actually running away. If you said to me the horse is bolting, that's bullshit. If he was bolting, he'd be kicking, bucking, doing anything to get the cart off and run away from it. He's not doing that. He's just, a little bit of him is, in my opinion, and he's not been broke. Well, I can't say he's not been broke properly because people can mess them up after they're broke, you know what I mean? But this horse, he's like, he don't want to listen. He don't want to do what I tell him. Even now I want him to walk and he don't want to walk. So he's got a jig jog. Now, before, I couldn't even get him to jig jog, you know, he'd be cantering on the spot. Or trotting on the spot, or rearing, or doing something. So he is improving. But what we've got to look at, you've got a stunning looking horse here. It may be a better idea for us to break in for riding and sell him as a nice riding horse, you know, because he'd do the dressage, he'd do the lot. If we could get him quiet in that respect. But before I dare put anybody on his back, he's got to have another bit of time, you know, doing this. But he is a stunning looking horse, no two ways about it. He's beautiful. And we're doing him with kindness, you know, I don't believe in bullying him, just doing him with a kindness, firmness but kindness. And he's walking now, not every stride, but he's just coming to walk. When I want to stop him, he's no trouble, but, you know, walk. Stand still, darling. Very good boy. Watch his body language. There's something going on behind this edge, so he's reasonably happy to listen to that. When he's bored with that, this is what we get. Take this bridle off me. I don't want this on, I don't want to do this. Yeah. So what we got to do, is no point in him giving him something that he hates and doesn't like to do. See that? That's not an itch that he's scratching. You know, now see there, teeth against railing. He's uptight. I don't want to do this, I don't have to do this if I don't want to. If I play up enough, you'll stop. And if I just asked him now, come back baby. Hey, pay attention. Come back. 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 Whoa. Stand still. So we're getting this. He was 10 times worse than this. Well, this aggression in him. This, you know. So he's standing, but if you look at him, you can see where he's sweating. You know, if you look up on his neck, you see where he's darker. So like, here, if I show you with this here whip coming round under his pad, he's all wet. He's wet up here, wet under his straps. Wet on his shoulders and neck. Now we've only come, the horse is already fit, he's up to doing a few miles, but it's under duress the whole time. So I'll take this off if I can. That is not an itch or something he's doing, but the more he's doing it, the better he's getting. What you got to tell me is how deep your pockets are. But I ain't afraid to drive him. We're going to put him in single next and drive him like that. I'm not worried about driving him in single. But he's such a good stepping horse and such a good looking horse, he would make a great deal of money if we can get him quiet. Walk. Walk up. So he stopped all that silly pulling nonsense and he's walking. Little stowel going along, So he'll pass droppings, in other words, going along. So he's not concerned. They won't often do that, like when they're going along, they clamp their tail down, but he'll lift his tail, is what I mean. He'll lift his tail, carry his tail out of the way, do what he's got to do, and he's happy. And also, he's really uptight, he'll keep his tail down and shit all down his tail. Well, he ain't doing that, he's just a nice animal. And if he'd have had the right start, and he's got that action whether he's uptight or not. You know, that's not there just because he's fizzy. But he's coming better and better every time we drive him. So I've just got my whip out now. Well, I don't use a whip, as you know. There is no point in me making the noise of the whip by him after we've done 15 miles. We're only just at 2 miles now, right? Well, it's not quite 2 miles, it's 2 miles to the river. But if you see now when I do this, oh God, stand still, stand still, stand still, there's your lad, stand still, whoa, stand still, stand still, whoa, stand still. Oh baby, I'm tapping him with it all the time now. Oh baby, you've got to get used to it. Yeah? Alright, they're good lad. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. I'm having to put the brake on to hold him. Understand what I mean? Yes, I've got the balls to sit up here and do it. I ain't afraid of him. But I've got to put the brake on to hold him. Yeah? Because he would be off with this and he'd pull Rowley this cart the lot. So he's obviously had a clout or two. Otherwise he wouldn't be like that. And he's so uptight. And he's hanging on my hands. You could walk down these ranges now. That's why we've got rubber in his mouth rather than iron, because he'd have no mouth left. He'd be bruised to buggery. Just doing that.
I'll hop off here and film him going in the river, yeah?
Alright my boy, good lad.
See how much he's puffing and sweating.
Aye.
I'm just saying, like you can see his breathing, he's twitchy, but Rowley's not. It's nothing to do with the distance or how hard he's been driving, that's nerves. Look at his eyelet. See him?
Now I ain't afraid to drive the horse. I'll get up behind him and drive him. And that's why I've got a bit of rubber in his mouth. We would hurt his mouth badly if he had a piece of iron in there, whatever it might be. So the very soft rubber that we use, we can afford to hang on to him and keep him half safe. If you look round here, this is all round his ox. He's not worried about that. He's not kicking. It's not that. He's just saying, I do not want to do this. This is not, see his head now, look. You know, he's looking back at me, can you see, look? He's not frightened of me, he's looking back at me. Hey, good boy, come on, old silly boy. Come on. There's good boy. Come over. Come over, the good boy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come over. Oh, come on. I'm not afraid to drive him. Yes, I will break him. You know, yes, we'll get this badness out of him, you know, but it's only where he's been frightened. It's not the horse's fault. It's people. Not horses. Horses ain't born like that. Like, look at him behave himself now. Now you just look at him. Rowley ain't got a bit of sweat on him, and Rowley's already been out twice this morning with other horses alongside him. Look at this all steaming and sweating, puffing, where he's so uptight. You can say to me, well, you're crazy sitting up behind him, he could kick your knees off. He could, but his problem ain't in his quarters at all, right? Yes, if you provoked him with a broom or something like that now and banging his oxen legs, where he's uptight, he might just lash out, but that's not really where his problem is. His problem's in his head and what he thinks is going to happen to him, and the fact of this whip. Now, if you say to me, well, don't use a whip on him, what you've got to understand is the noise of a whip is replicated by a lot of other things that sound very, very similar to him. So therefore, see him looking back at me now, look. He's not frightened by me, he's not wanting to move forward, he don't mind me talking, he don't mind what I do. If I take this out of here now, and I'll go, walk my baby, good boy, good lad, there's a good lad, good boy. Tap him like that, look. Hear the noise it's making on this back band. There's a good boy, don't worry about it. There's a good boy, no one's going to hurt you. There's a good boy, good boy, good boy. All down there, he don't mind. That little swish, he'd be off. And what I'm saying to you is, I can do it if you can pay the bill. And that's what you've got to ask yourself. Given enough time, I mean, we're only 3 weeks in. And he's come a long way in 3 weeks, make no mistake. You see him come up the road there. But we've got to get this out of him. And the only way to get out of him is keep letting him hear it. And realising it's not going to hurt him. His recovery rate's much better. Each day we're doing this with him and introducing the whip, cracking it, he would worry all the way home. Now he's settled down again, not too bad. You can see I've got a slack rein on him, but he's not attempting to gallop or canter. Steady, come over here. One didn't go past while I was in the water, did it?
No, not as far as I know.
Just let him get out of the way so we can hear another one.
There's something coming.
So you can see here, he's standing here. Yes, I've got the foot brake on. You can see him put his head back and look at me. I've got him now standing on a slack rein. I'm not having to fight to hold his head or keep him still or stop him rearing or... Oh baby, stand still, there's a good lad. Good boy, just stand still. Just stand still. And all these things take time and a lot of patience. Take a lot of time and a lot of patience with a horse like him. He's had a bad start. I don't care what anybody else says. Horse does not behave in that manner without man's help. By I mean man's help. Getting a smack somewhere along the line, hurting some way. Because he wouldn't have that fear. My horses don't do that. But he's had, you know, so I'm trying to, you know, put right something that's happened to the horse. Oh boy, stand still. That was you, Rowley, you stand still. So we're still only now, to the water is 2.5 miles from home, I think. Oh, don't hold me to that as gospel, but I think it's just 2.5 miles to home from the water. We've just come out of the water now. first place we can stop is a few hundred yards to let that tractor through. But you can see him standing there now. I want a slack rein, I've got no brakes on, and the little fella standing. If I do that to him, whoop, right, he'll accepting it. Before he wouldn't have accepted that. So watch again with the rein. I just tap him on the butt. Look at him come back and look at me. Look, hey, good boy. Yes, you are. Right. Stand still, darling. There's good boy. Stand still, baby. There's good boy. Stand still, darling. Stand still, baby. Good boy. Good boy. Oh. Stand still, darling. Stand still. There's good boy. Right, walk on then. Just walk. Just walk. You see I've got no brakes. You see the pole chains are tight. They're having to hold it back going down the hill here, yeah? It's very, very slight incline, this is. Not anything, you know. But he's doing that now. So his recovery rate from when he has his problems, you know, which again are all man-made. Horse don't get like that without help from man. You know, what his problems are man-made. I don't care who broke him or whatever. I'm not condemning the man because I don't know him and I weren't there when he done it. But whoever's been round him, or the man after he's broke him, the man that's owned him, has buggered the horse up. He's taken all the poor sod's confidence away. And what we want to do is give them confidence. You know, that's the most important thing. Let them be confident. And then, when they've got their confidence, be confident in the person behind them. That's what we try and do when we break them. So he's still uptight, he's still jig-jogging along, but we got him back a lot to what he was. So I can't show you any more than what we have. It's everything. But you know, if I say to him now, like, he's only got a bit of rubber in his mouth, remember. I've got 2 fingers and 2 fingers, right? Whoa. Whoa, stand still. So we're coming up here by this old bin's going on the thing, as you can see. He's going to lift it up and make a hell of a row as it tips up. You see now what I mean, like his tail comes up between his hocks. See it being pulled through his hocks. That's because he's curling the bottom of it. Because he's uptight again, yeah? And he's pulling it through there. Now, he's on the way home. Not that he knows he's on the way home, because we try and take him a different way every day. So obviously we come out of our place, we can only turn left and right, but we can go across the road, round the field and come out on a different road. We can also come down here and we can turn left, and then we can go all over the place. We can also go to the pub, go up the front of the pub and go lots of different ways back round to home. So we try and give him a different way every day. Because this type of horse, what he would do, he'd get in the zone, what I call in the zone, if you like, in a rut where he'd go the same way. And as long as you went that way and you went at the same speed and you done everything the same, he'd be happy. Well, that wouldn't be no bloody good, would it? You know, well, he'd never be happy, but not for a long time yet. But he'd be like...
Get settled to that.
He'd get settled to that, you know. So what you've got to do is vary it, you know. And we've got to vary it from the start. So when he does settle, he's settled whichever way we're going. Whichever speed we're doing, whatever carriage he's in, you know, whatever, you know, he's happy with everything. He can't just be happy with one thing. And he'd be the sort of horse that if you got him happy with one particular way of doing something or going, you know, a distance and at a speed at the same route every day, when you change the route, it'd be like completely retraining him to another route, and that's the problem. So just mention this, look, but he's getting better. Get up, Rolly. Coming home on a slack rein. We've done no distance, he can do a lot more miles, but we're coming home on a slack rein and we're putting the reins right down there. Get up, Rolly. Hanging down. Just to show you that he's not wanting to run anymore. He's getting better. A lot of people would say, I have them up here sat by the side of me, so-called coachman and horseman and that, and they say to me, what you want to do with him? He wants tying up and beating. Well, that's just diabolically stupid. The horse is where he's at due to people, not because of the way he is. He wanted to treat him right in the first place and break him properly. That's why I always say every horse is an individual. I've been saying it for years. Lots of people copying me now. Every horse is an individual. That's why you can't write a book. How could you write a book on how to break him? If you'd set off with a tyre behind him, you'd be a long time finding him, let alone a bloody tyre. He'd just keep going because he hasn't been done right in the first place. Now he's sitting there with a beautiful arch neck. He's coming back and I can control him. You've just seen that. In any circumstance, I will control him. Yeah, and with just a piece of rubber. You can say to me, oh well, Mr. Hook, that's not a problem, Barry. We know you can control him because you've got Rolly by the side of him. Well, let me tell you, I'll put him in single and I'll still control him. I'll still have him right. And which I will be doing tomorrow or the day after he'll be going in single. And we'll make another film then. It's not to do with Rolly, because please believe me, pull Rolly off his feet. This horse panics and goes. He's near as big as Rolly as you can see. He's a bloody sight younger than Rolly, and he's got more bone than Rolly, or equally as much. And he would pull Rolly over, make no mistake. So you've got to know how to control him, how to keep him right, how to hold on to him, how to not hurt him. I don't want to hurt him anymore. I've got to hold on to him, obviously. That's why we got the rubber bit, and not a great big lump of iron bruising his mouth and ripping his gums to bits. A very soft piece of rubber, so it can't hurt him. Now you just imagine, you see him pulling back there and leaping and bucking and, you know, smashing into the bit, into the harness, come to that. What would that be doing if I had a lump of iron in his mouth? Just think about it. He could well be bleeding now. So you've got to have the nerve to sit behind him. You know, me and Rolly working as a team together, as we have for years, to control the poor little fella and give him another chance in life. Because you tell me where he's going. They were going to have him put to sleep in Ireland. He was going to be put to sleep because he was uncontrollable. Yeah. And frightened the man that much, that's what he's going to do. The lady stepped in that owns him and said, I'll give him another chance, I'll send him to Barry Hook. Now, I don't mean to say Barry Hook can mend him, but I've got to do my best. Now, he's only been here 3 weeks. We've got him going, he's snorting and blowing a bit, but he's controllable, whereas before when we put him in, a little dog barking then, he got a little bit uptight, but it's nothing, I can just stop him. Well, stand still now, stop being silly. There's a good boy. Don't be silly now, come on. There's a good little boy. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Rolo, stand still. Stand still, Rolly. Stand still. Now you see his legs come up at rest now, yeah? And Rolly,
you get it free or not? when we get down. It's around the front of his mouth.
Right.
That's it.
So, well, so see the little fellow's sweating, dripping on the road. That's not because of the work he's done, it's because the fact he's as uptight as he is. Yeah? I've got to pull him over now. Come over, Rolo. Come over, Ro. Bring him over. Whoa, stand still. And if you say to me, people say to me, oh, you're on that big high carriage, he can't reach you. Well, anyone that wants to see, we'll show you some pictures of horses kicking 18 inches above this. 18 inches above this rail here. 18 inches above that. Had a Frisian not so long ago, kicked right above it. And he'd be perfectly capable. But what you've got to do is have the nerve to sit here and have the patience. The main thing is the patience. You know, he cannot be bullied. He's already been bullied in his life. He don't want to be bullied anymore. He doesn't want to be bullied anymore. We've got to cajole him, kid him, let him see that the world's a nice place, as long as he behaves himself, you know, and he's learning. He's slowly picking it up. You can see him standing there, although he's sweating and he's uptight, and he, you know, what else can he do? What else can he do? If we don't work hard with the best of our ability to get him either as a rider or as a driving horse that he's happy, yeah, and he is getting there. Look at him looking back here now. Well, he's not terribly uptight. There's a car coming up here now. His quarters are right out. He could take the side of the car out if he wanted to. You know, he'll stand and do as he's told. Let the car come past. Stand still. But he's coming. But it, you know, it is down to finances. How much money do you spend on a horse like this? Getting him right. See, he just doesn't know what to do next, does he? You can see if you're looking at the horse and reading him, he's going to bite that, then he's going to lift his leg, then he's going to rub his head, then he's going to try and pull his bridle off, then he's going to, you lick that now, now he'll bite that, now he'll try and bite Roly. You know, walk up, walk on.
It's a tractor.
Getting him much better in traffic, as you can see. Now, people can tell me as much as they like about what the horse done in the past. I film it. And I'll film the good and the bad. This one is an exceptional case. Well, I say exceptional case. This horse has got trauma, got problems. He's upset and worried. So we film this bit so that the owner can have a look and decide how much further they want to go. And obviously, when the horse is done, and anybody's got to be able to drive him. It hasn't got to be, you know, I'm the only person that can drive him. There's no point in that. Anybody's got to be able to drive him. As with my horses, they can. Anybody can get up behind them and drive them. Walk up, Roly. Walk up. You know, as long as you've got some basic sense. And if you say to me, oh, well, you've got to be driving a long time before you can drive horses, that's another myth that wants busting. I've had people come to me that have never driven before, never been round horses before, and I've turned them into a good driver in a matter of weeks because they don't come with any preconceived ideas. So you've got a blank canvas, so they do what you tell them to do, and they learn by what you show them. And I don't mean on a rein machine, I mean up here next to me, and the dual reins on the actual horses, and learn that way. And But you can see this horse is settling down now. We're nearly home, and he does know he's coming home now. I mean, obviously, I can smell the stables from here, but he's starting to settle down again, and he's coming back to himself. But as I say, with all these horses, it's how far do you go? And we crack the whip round him. People say, well, why ever would you crack the whip round him now and swish it around him if it's going to frighten him? So, well, now's the time to do it, because if you'd done it the other way, so you never introduce him to any whip, because he's obviously been whipped and been hurt, or at least been frightened by it, now's the time to introduce it straight away, or more or less straight away. Not, you know, get him going perfectly and then introduce the whip, because you'll undone all that you have done.